And I want to say to y'all that this music shit is universal. It's a language and it moves. But we have to do more work than creating stages. We have to build movements.
Chicago activist and poet Malcolm London was arrested, one of two people charged with a felony.
If you do the same things, then you get the same results. Reform not enough. We need to revolt. But we've been raising glasses while our asses is toast. At 7:45 a.m., I opened the doors to a building dedicated to building, yet only breaks me down. What down, what down? What's up, y'all? Does everybody have something to write with and write on?
Oh, poet turns rapper.
Yeah.
What will he be?
He was a bad little boy, like all the rest of them. He wasn't no different.
So, how I met up with Malcolm, you know, he's a poet, and he's never really, like, rapped on a beat before, it seemed like.
It's a lot harder than people make it out to be. Chief Keef is an artiste. You know what I mean? I say that on camera.
They can't stand this nigga like they got scoliosis. They so pissed off. I'm a dog, house broken, outspoken, outgoing. Why they got it out?
I was like, I have some music that I feel you could write some real-ass shit to.
People didn't expect me to start making music while also just being myself. And myself is a political-ass motherfucker.
Who am I to call myself a blessing? If the God in me is constantly getting arrested, Malcolm X flagged up is not a factor to them. Tried to turn Malcolm X into Casper, they not willing to quit.
Before I knew Malcolm as the rapper, I knew Malcolm as the activist.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, Malcolm is fully in the streets. We have a certain responsibility. There's a whole bunch of people with us that we have to account for.
You know, the people where I grew up, they didn't create the poverty they were born into. So when we talk about activism, it wasn't like this grand thing. It was just, shit is fucked up. Let me go talk to my neighbors, and that's how it started.
Like the first few conversations we had, you could tell that your work was about countering kind of the misinformation I felt like you were getting, and the desire for something that would actually engage you.
Brown versus Board of Education, teaching core curriculum standardization, which is why the students are bored in education.
If you're a hunter, the lion is what? Crazy, right, ferocious. He needs to be tamed, right? That's what the hunter says. But if you ask the lion, it might say what? I'm trying to eat. I'm trying to protect my cubs. I'm trying to be the king of this jungle. But you won't hear that if the hunter tells the story.
You also loved language, like you loved the sound of language. It was like poetry bars. You know, you weren't rapping formally yet.
The way I think about it is like the stage is now just like a giant poem. Understanding poetry and what a line break does and what, you know, space and words do. Like that's what it is on stage now. I'm like, this is, you know what I mean? It's like, I see the page on the stage. Oceans of adolescents come here to receive lessons, but never learn to swim. This is a training ground. My high school is Chicago, diverse and segregated on purpose. The trick of like the system that we live in, the world that we live in, the education that we get, is that we often find ourselves doing a lot of things and not knowing why we're doing them. Trying to find purpose in things that don't often have one.
I think it means if you don't tell your story, somebody else can tell your story wrong, and you don't want that to be tough because you don't know. I mean, they don't know the truth behind what you're trying to say or what's really going on. That's what I think it means.
Yeah, Diamond, that's what I'm talking about. So, you start to figure out that a lot of the why we do things is driven by people with a lot of money and a very small perspective. You know, maybe the situations we're in, we're here for a reason. But you know. Huh? You trying to be in this video? You trying to be in this video? Yeah. All right, come on, fuck with me. Y'all trying to record this? What's up, man? My name Malcolm. What's your name?
Malcolm, my name Lil G.
Lil G, what's up, man?
My name Mike.
What's up, Isaac? I'm Malcolm. What's up, my dude? I grew up in Austin, but I live down the street.
That's right, where we from?
What? Oh, from Austin? Go crazy.
The government stopped funding our program, so we just started all doing this together.
Damn.
You want to play? Yeah, come on. Let's do it. You probably want to move the mic back a little bit, bro. This gonna get loud, bro.
Yeah, my dude. Super fucking with y'all. That's love. And this is exactly what we're talking about. Like, you know what I'm saying? These are creative young men, ready to play, ready to go, and somebody cut their funding. I mean, I have an interesting connection to Chicago because I often lived on two sides of the city. I went to school on the north side, and I grew up on the west side. You know, like growing up on the west side, it was like there were so many more rules that you had to follow, you know, to make it. You know, my grandmother made sure that my pants weren't sagging, that I wasn't aggressive towards police, that I wasn't aggressive towards cats on the street.
If he want to talk to anybody, he come right here to me. He'll stop by, open the door, come on in, stay a few minutes, and he gone.
Yeah.
He always come by to see me. I get hugs from him every time he come in this door. Ooh-wee. You better stay that way, too.
Yeah, I'm trying. I got lucky on the west side of Chicago in the Austin neighborhood, which is the highest arrest, the highest HIV rating. It's luck. It's good to see you, though, man. Yeah, finally got linked up. Yes. My man Timmy V, Road Dog. Okay. Faux Dog, Squad Dog.
I'm not gonna lie, soldiers, I have cases, you get what I'm saying? I got a background now because of the fact that I fell off. I used to sell drugs and come and play with them, put money to equipment. You get what I'm saying? That's how we was coming up with the money. We support everybody. Once you get to showing that support, that love, you get it right back. You get it right back.
I think we should live in a society where everyone is awarded a second chance, you know, regardless of what they've done. Like, I think redemption is one of the holiest and most humane things we can offer each other.
Poet and activist Malcolm London had been one of 5 demonstrators arrested during that march through the Loop to demand an end to police gunfire aimed at black youth. He had been arrested and charged with punching a police officer, aggravated battery, a felony.
The night I was arrested, some officers asked me, did I let off a smoke bomb that was happening across the street? And I obviously just got off the microphone, so no, I hadn't. And the next thing I know, I was grappled by what felt like 8 officers and dragged into a paddy wagon. The Tribune released a photo that felt calculated, and actually in the moment of that photograph, I was pushing the cop off of a friend of mine who they were pushing on the ground. And later that picture circulated as if I punched the cop. I was arrested in what felt like an orchestrated arrest of someone who was leading a protest. I don't think we'll live in a world where nobody ever harms anybody else. I don't even want to live in that world. That's not realistic. I want to live in a world that says, if someone harms somebody, how do we hold each other accountable when it happens? If a police kills a young man in the street, what do we do to hold that system accountable? When young people are failing in this city, what are we doing to hold politicians accountable to those young people? That's what it's about. It's about when you fuck up, how are you held accountable? And a lot of people in power are fucking up, and a lot of those fuck-ups are on purpose and orchestrated for years. And most people will label that a conspiracy, and I just label it true.
I hear education systems are failing, but I believe they're succeeding at what they're built to do, to train you, to keep you on track, to track down an American dream that has failed so many of us all.
I always felt like it wasn't enough, you know, like a poem can't really stop, you know, bullets or anything, you know.
I think like having an imagination, right?
Yeah.
And being able to envision the world that destroys all of these oppressive systems, like we need artists, we need poets, we need musicians to be able to help us cultivate that, you know? So it's like, I do think it's crucial.
When you're doing something that you love as a job, it's so easy to become derailed from this, like the success. Rapping is the same way. You know, our journey to who we're supposed to be no longer is just about carrying ourselves.
Do y'all thing, I'm gonna shout y'all out, Chicago Soundbox. Is everybody from out west?
You can say that, yeah.
All right, bet, all right, cuz.
Ain't no reason to be nervous. You got dedication, you got commitments, and you stay focused.
Everybody got a head on their drum, and mouthpiece in their horn.
Exactly. We all doing this together.
This group I met called Chicago Soundbox. They're a marching band from the west side of Chicago. I wanted to give them an opportunity to show y'all their talents. And so I'm gonna let them do their shit. Chicago Soundbox, make some noise for them.